To our loyal fans, I'm sorry. When I took St. John's to the Elite Eight, I didn't consider the fact that the Big East Player of the Year would only make 3 of 17 shots from the field. I think I also underestimated John Calipari's coaching ability against higher-seeded teams. And I'm really, really deeply sorry to our loyal fans.
To our dedicated listeners, I apologize for picking High Point over Purdue. I thought their efficient offense would be the secret weapon, but apparently efficiency doesn't win games when you're up against a team that doesn't play like it's still in PE class. Next time, I'll stick to picking teams that don't make me look like I'm trying to win a bracket group based on campus aesthetics.
And finally, I would like to apologize for absolutely nothing. I told both of you that McNeese State was beating Clemson. You lambasted me. You told me I didn't know ball. But the Oregon Amir Khan is making more money than either of you will touch in your lifetime. So I am not sorry for anything. Gavin, cue the intro.
What's going on, guys, and welcome into Afterthoughts.
He's butt naked on some of these shots. They're starting to storm, Ryan.
The first problem is your best player of the season is Tyrese Maxey.
For my rankings, I kind of went off vibes a little bit.
I said they'd make it. I'm saying they're going to make it by a half game.
Omarion Hampton is a dog. He's insane.
Sure, man.
Nice guy.
If you say so.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys, and welcome into Afterthoughts. Ryan Lombardi, Nathan Donnelly, Jack Caskell. Guys, pleasure to have you back. This is the third week in a row it's been us three to open the show, and we had ourselves a weekend.
Absolutely, we did. We watched some fun college basketball, had some good food, kicked it with the homies. It was awesome, and I can't wait to do it again.
It was James Derrick's birthday. Shout out, James.
Yes, shout out
He'll be on the
cameraman
show
James.
later.
You will. It was a round of 64 that was a little forgettable, but we have an awesome Sweet 16 of teams, and I'm very excited to get into it.
Today we're going to be kind of going over what the Sweet 16 looks like. We are not going to be picking. Our picks did not do too well, I will say.
We learned our lesson.
Yeah, our personal picks did not go as planned.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, enough.
Yeah.
Final four still intact, though. Something to know.
Final Four is very still intact. Our champion is still intact. We're going to get to them very soon. I like their game a lot. It's going to be a great game for the Roll Tide.
All right, starting off, we're going to start with Auburn and Michigan. Got a little SEC versus Big Ten. Something to know, the power conferences, SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, absolutely dominating the field right now. Of the 16 teams, they hold the majority.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it's going to be for a little while. The football schools have the big money, especially in the SEC, and we have a good first matchup for Auburn against Michigan. Auburn has a big guy with Janai Broom. How many big guys does Michigan have, Jack? Two of them. Well, how do you think that's going to go?
yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, though Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf are no John I. Broom.
No.
They're still very, very good, and they contribute immensely to this Michigan team. And I mean, we did learn in grade school that 2 is better than 1, so...
If you want to talk numbers, 2 is very much better than 1. Michigan is on an absolute roll. They went perfect to win their conference tournament, and they have made the Sweet 16 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking good. They got past their first 2 rounds, and now looking to make it a run to the Elite Eight if they can get past the number 1 seed at Auburn. Auburn, I think, has looked the weakest of the number 1 seeds. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think, I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
I don't know if they've looked weak necessarily. I just think they don't have much experience in March. I mean, last year, losing in the round of 64 to Yale, I think they've just got to understand what it means to play in March and play deep in the postseason.
Yeah, they had guys back from that team who lost to Yale. They're relying on a big, really good freshman guard in Tahad Pettiford, who's playing a lot of important minutes for them. And he's a freshman. He doesn't have a lot of experience. Chad Baker-Mazara, I can't remember if he's ever played in a game this important. Auburn has a little bit looked like the weakest 1 seed. They're still a great team. They're still an amazing team. They have looked like the weaker 1 seed so far.
Yeah, all right, and then moving on, Ole Miss versus Michigan State, another SEC Big Ten team. Ole Miss, I think a lot of people had doubts on, only because their first round matchup was against UNC, but then Michigan State, the number 2 seed in that region, just been so good this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as much as I wanted Bryant to win that game, and I was so rooting for them, because they played pretty well in that first half of the game. I mean, Michigan State just steamrolled through them in the second half, and I think that's going to be a sign of what's to come with this Tom Izzo squad.
Yeah, I'm looking at the defense of Michigan State this round. Last round, they played Donovan Dent, a 20-point-per-game scorer from New Mexico. They held him to 14 points. Who are they playing this round in Ole Miss? Who's their guy? My man, Sean Padula, former Hokie. They have to lock down Sean Padula. Make other guys beat you. It worked against New Mexico, but Ole Miss is on an absolute roll. I'm not sure it'll work this game. I still like the Spartans, but it'll be a good matchup. Ole Miss can score.
Yeah, and then moving on, number 1 seeded against Florida against the number seed Florida, and have you guessed it? SEC versus Big Ten again.
SEC versus Big Ten, and that's the theme of the Sweet 16 so far. Last round, Maryland against Colorado State allowed 35, half of the points given up to opposing guards. If they do that against Florida with Walter Clayton and Elijah Martin, they're going to give up a bajillion points. Like, that's one of the best front court duos in the entire country. Like, you cannot play defense like that against Florida.
Absolutely.
Jack.
And Maryland's going to have a lot to prove. I mean, there's some that argue that they shouldn't even be in this position. Whether you think Derek Queen traveled on that game-winning shot or not, Maryland's got a lot of doubters to prove. And whether or not it's going to come to fruition against Florida, only time will tell.
And there's a lot of storylines circulating around Maryland. I mean, there's rumors of Kevin Willard potentially leaving. And even the players, I mean, Derek Queen was in a press conference and pretty much told reporters that the only reason he listens to Coach Willard is because he pays us the money, was the exact quote.
I fear we may be reading a little too much into that.
I think the media is just thickening the plot there, but that is hilarious. It's true.
But I think Kevin Willard in the Sweet 16 for the first time as a head coach, and got a feel for the guy. I got a soft spot, glory days at Seton Hall.
Yeah.
But moving on, the first non-Big Ten team, but we still got an SEC team in this matchup, Texas Tech, Arkansas.
Yeah, when you look at Arkansas last round against St. John's, it's hard to win a game when you shoot 2 of 19 from 3 and you're Arkansas. But they did it. They won, only because St. John's shot 2 of 22, I believe. If you are Texas Tech, you have to guard the basketball. You have to defend John L. Davis and the forwards of Knox and Richmond. If you don't, you're going to end up like St. John's.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I hate this matchup. I hate the fact that Arkansas is our Cinderella team this year. They are a 10-seeded SEC team. They are not a Cinderella.
And coached by John Calipari.
And coached by
Coach Cal. Yeah,
which I will say, though,
absurd.
Coach Cal, not an even-numbered year, so he didn't get upset. He's also not in Kentucky anymore, but he was only played higher-seeded teams, so I think he's going to run with this as Arkansas is the highest seed left.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I wanted to see some mid-major. Like, when Robert Morris was going on that run against Alabama, I so wanted Robert Morris to shock the world. I know we picked them to be our champions in our bracket, but
Would have been an awesome story.
I just wanted one mid-major, and maybe not even a mid-major, just a Cinderella.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see CSU take down Maryland. I thought CSU played a great basketball game. I really did.
You got to feel for John Tanji, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep it moving. And first time that we don't have an SEC team or a Big Ten team in these matchups. It'll be ACC versus Big 12. Duke and Arizona. I mean, this is going to be a big one.
It is going to be a great game. Caleb Love, once again, will face Duke.
Sorry.
Caleb Love is averaging 16 points per game.
There was something in my throat there.
Caleb Love versus Cooper Flagg is going to feed families. It's going to be
an amazing
matchup. It's going to feed families when Cooper Flagg gives Caleb Love the business.
Jack, how many points did Caleb Love have last round? I believe he had.
He doesn't even know.
He had 29 points.
Yeah, he doesn't even know.
Against who?
Against Oregon,
the number 5 seed, where a lot of people had advancing.
Like, they were only seeded one worse. I don't think Arizona will win this game.
This guy is the biggest Caleb Love hater, and I just don't know why.
If only Caleb Love was Amir Khan.
I mean, right? Yeah.
You would love Arizona until your grave, right? That's the way it works.
We'll say Cooper Flagg hasn't returned to that efficiency. Yes, they haven't been playing.
They haven't been playing great competition.
So he hasn't needed to come through. But Duke just looks so sound.
Yeah, even if Cooper Flagg does not return to the great, efficient player that he is until maybe, let's say, the Final Four, we've seen what Con Knipple does at the end of the ACC tournament to close out games. Granted, the ACC wasn't amazing, but Con Knipple is an awesome freshman, projected possible lottery pick. I think he's able to lead the team without Cooper Flagg being 100%.
Yeah,
May I bring up
Jack.
Tyrese Proctor?
Yeah,
who
sure.
Shot
Totally.
Lights out in the round of 32.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even. That's how good Duke is. I completely forgot to even mention Tyrese Proctor. We shoot 8 of 9 from 3. It was absolutely absurd. It was insane. I think there's no way. The more I talk right now, the more I'm thinking Duke has to win this game. They have to.
We're not doing predictions.
But we're not doing predictions.
We're not picking.
I did not say Duke will win the game. I said they should win the game.
Of the 4 seeds, though, I do like Arizona to make a run.
Teach their own.
Okay. And moving on, we got BYU versus Alabama. BYU, kind of a slept-on team. I think a lot of people had VCU over them just because of the success of VCU, but BYU now in the Sweet 16, and they look pretty good.
You know, if I do owe one team an apology, it's the BYU Cougars. I mean, they have been unstoppable. It looks like they can't lose, like they're not going to lose.
Something to note on BYU, they went 10-7 in Quad 1 games. Not easy to win 10 Quad 1 games. They also went 6-2 in Quad 2 and undefeated in Quad 3 and 4. So, I mean, unreal stuff from BYU, and I think a lot of people overlook them. Number one, because they come out of the Big 12, and also just because of the success of VCU.
Yeah, when you play 11 Quad 1 games, you should not be winning 10 of them. That is an absurd stat, and it's absurd performance in the Quad 1. The one thing that shows up here with BYU last round, how many points did John Tanji have? He had 37 points.
Yeah.
He would have had 39 if he came through on the last shot, and BYU wouldn't even be here. But he had 37 points. If you guard Mark Sears like that in Alabama, they're going to score a bazillion points on you.
Yes.
You have to hunker down defensively. You cannot let Mark Sears beat you.
No, and certainly, I mean, we've seen Alabama score 100 points consistently this season, so they definitely have their work cut out for them.
One of the fastest offensives in the nation for a reason.
Easily, and it's the high scoring offense. You cannot guard Mark Sears like you did John Tanji, which basically it's not even guarding him at all. He had 37 points. Like that cannot happen.
Almost hit the game winner.
But
granted, amazing defense on that play.
Great. That was the only time I watched somebody play defense on him.
Yeah.
That was it was absurd. You cannot guard Mark Sears like that.
And then moving on, we have Houston and Purdue. And I want to spend a little bit more time on this one, guys, because Jack, you came out and said Houston was the weakest 1 seed. Honestly, looking at how they have played this far, they might be the strongest, one seed.
Let the record show, I did apologize in the comments of the Instagram post.
Don't care. But also another team, we were big on High Point.
We were.
I mean, Purdue being it's just a team known for choking. I think a lot of people forget this team went to the national championship last year.
They did, but something that stuck out to me last round with Purdue, there's a man on Purdue, very big, Trey Kaufman-Renn, had 22 and 15 against McNeese.
Arguably the most improved player in the nation.
Arguably the most improved player.
And Braden Smith was just named a finalist for the Naismith Player of the Year award. I mean, hey, he proved me wrong. You guys were high on High Point. I was high on McNeese. Purdue steamrolled through both of them.
Steamrolled. The reason that Purdue won that game against McNeese, they had a huge size advantage down low.
Right.
Trey he ate up McNeese. It's not going to fly here. Houston has Juwan Robertson and the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Joseph Tugler.
And they're just so well-rounded.
So well-rounded. And so, we're thinking, how is Purdue going to find an edge? Are they going to outshoot Houston?
No.
Houston is the second best shooting team in the nation. They shoot almost 40% from 3. I don't have an area here for Purdue to take advantage of.
But that's not a prediction.
It's not
It's not a prediction.
It's not a prediction. I'm just saying. I can't think of an area for Purdue to have the upper hand.
All right,
personally.
not to change the subject too much, but I do want to give you the satisfaction of talking about McNeese Clemson. Obviously, neither team's still in it, but I honestly think Clemson played so bad.
Horrible.
That I think my little brother's 8th grade team could have gone out there
Can
and
you
beat
even
McNeese.
call them an ACC team at this point?
Clemson?
They should be forced to switch conferences
They
after
should
that
be
abysmal
relegated.
performance.
I mean, you could say the same thing for Louisville, though, too. Louisville was a one and done.
They didn't play as bad as
They did not
Clemson,
play as
though.
bad. McNeese tried so many times to hand that game away into the hands of Clemson, and the Tigers just could not get it done.
They couldn't. And you want to know how they got it done? How McNeese got it done? The Philly goat, Quadir Copeland. He knows.
Syracuse legend.
He knows what it's like to play Clemson.
Syracuse
The McNeese Clemson game was actually really fascinating. I went back and watched the first half because that was the dominant half from McNeese.
Right.
Will Wade came out in a kind of like a matchup zone. He utilized zone coverages and like man-to-man that Clemson had never seen and McNeese had never played. It took them a week to learn all of that, and they mastered it to perfection. And they held Clemson to 13 points in the first half.
I remember texting you guys about that, and
13.
It was just
insanity.
abysmal.
How is that 13? You're a D1 program. You scored 13 points in the first half. The Will Wade defensive masterclass was absurd. That's what I took away from it. It was insane.
Was it really a defensive masterclass when Clemson just could not score the basketball? They couldn't even make an open three.
If you can't score the basketball, I think it's because
it was
the other team's
trust
playing
me,
defense on you.
It was because of the defensive
Not always.
coverages. It
But you
was
know what?
absurd.
I'm not giving enough credit to the unsung hero. Or Amir Khan.
Yeah.
Like, why? All right, now talk me through the McNeese-Purdue game, because I think Purdue just absolutely steamrolled McNeese, and I think it showed that McNeese really wasn't that good, and Clemson just handed that game away.
I don't know so much that it's McNeese is a bad team. I think we just highly underestimated Purdue.
I know for a fact, obviously, as we see from the last episode, I highly underestimated Purdue. As I said before, Purdue used their extreme size advantage. Trey Kaufman-Renn had an unbelievable game. They just couldn't get a rebound or stop him. And when you can't do that, you're not going to win the basketball game. Like there really is no ifs and buts about it. Like you're not going to win the game.
And then rounding out our Sweet 16 is Kentucky and Tennessee. Now we got an SEC matchup. This is the first time in this tournament that we're seeing two teams from the same conference go at it.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this one. Obviously, these teams have already played twice this season. Kentucky has won both. Now, in our bracket show, we talked about this, and we took Tennessee over Kentucky solely because of the reason that it's so hard to beat a team 3 times. What are you guys seeing from this matchup?
I personally was very impressed by Kentucky and
Yes.
Mark Pope.
Yes.
But I don't think you can beat the same team 3 times. And that's not a prediction. That's not a prediction.
We do not predict on this episode. There have been no predictions.
I think Tennessee has been phenomenal as well, and I think they could potentially outpace Kentucky as well.
The one thing in mind that I had for Kentucky as a flaw was defensively. We know they can score. They have Otega Owe, Kobe Brea. They have amazing scorers. But their point guard, Lamont Butler, is from SDSU. He spent 3 years in the defensive SDSU system. The past 3 years, SDSU has been top 15 in KenPom all 3 years. They forced Illinois to turn the ball over 14 times last game. If you're able to do that and you're not able to play, it doesn't have to be a very sound defensive game, but get stops when you need to. You can score at will. You have amazing scores. Get stops when you need to get stops, and Lamont Butler will spearhead that. I think this will be a fantastic game, whether you think it will be or not.
Now I got to ask both of you the question.
I never said it was going to be a bad game.
I'm putting words in your mouth. It will be a
This is
very
preposterous,
entertaining
Nathan.
game.
I'm going to ask you guys the question. How much does this impact, how much of these teams, both being from the SEC, impact this matchup? I mean, they've been playing each other for the last 10 years. Obviously, the coaches know each other very well. So when you're playing a team, especially for the third time, on the biggest stage, how much of an impact does that have on both teams?
this is win or go home. As opposed to the last times that they've played each other in the conference season, they still had X amount of games left to go. You lose this game, your season's over. And I mean, with 900 plus players entering the transfer portal on the first day, no team is going to be the same after their season ends. So this is the last time that some of these guys are going to play with each other. And I think it just simply means more, especially in this March Madness tournament.
1,000,000%. Everything is on the line. That's just the way it is. That's the way it should be. That's the way America likes it. Lamont Butler's left shoulder is hanging on by a thread. He has pads on it that are 5 inches thick. The sideline reporter goes up to him and goes, "Hey, Lamont, how's your shoulder feeling? Everything okay?" He goes, "Yeah, everything's great." He's lying. Like, he's the diagnosis. He has a separated shoulder. He is playing 35 minutes a game on it. It means everything. Lamont Butler's a first-year Kentucky player. I'm not going to be like that, but he doesn't owe anything to the program.
No.
But he is everything is on the line, especially in an SEC rivalry matchup in the Sweet 16. This is what we want. This is amazing.
Jack, I just do want to note that every game in March Madness is win or go home. Just so you know,
It is, yeah, correct.
You might want to write that down.
I'm fully aware. I'm fully
I don't think we
aware
put that
it's
in the
win or go
notes.
home.
Yeah,
Did we need to?
I mean, for next show we'll type that in notes for you. All right, and then last thing I want to talk about before we cut to break. Did you guys see the new face in Texas, Sean Miller? They named him the new head coach. Sean Miller is the new Texas head coach.
Is this a Lombardi bomb on Nathan?
No, this has been
Okay.
news. Now, if you remember, one of the play-in games, it was Texas Xavier. Of course, Sean Miller comes from Xavier.
That is awkward.
And with how fast this coaching change was named, what was that handshake line? There had to be talks before this Texas Xavier game about Sean Miller going to Texas. What was that handshake line like at post game, especially when Sean Miller ended Texas's season?
Want to swap teams?
It's like walking into your first class of the year and the only seat open is your ex-girlfriend's. Like, that is absurd. Like, that's just so unbelievably awkward.
Yeah.
Fun. I mean, that's the way the coaching landscape is today.
It really is
I'm gonna
crazy.
take your job. I'm gonna take your job before
Yeah.
I leave your stuff in the
Yeah, I
office.
appreciate- Oh
Give me a
yeah,
head
sure, that's
start.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, man. I really like that trinket on your desk. Can you just you need to move it? Just leave it there. Oh yeah, thanks, man. Like that.
Yeah.
It's just absurd the way the landscape is, but that's the way it is.
All right, then really quick, just a one-word answer. If you had to pick a team from the Sweet 16 to win the entire thing, are we sticking with Bama or no?
Jack, please go first. I need to think. Don't say
Houston.
McNeese. Okay.
Houston?
Houston?
Wow,
Okay.
he's going back
going
on
back
his
on
words.
Houston.
Note that.
I was proven
Nathan,
wrong.
for you.
Dude. Shout out producer Sid. I've been liking Kentucky more and more. I
Wow.
really have. They can score with like nobody's business. Alabama can too, but I think they can get timely defensive stops. I really do. Sid, I'm not doing it just for you.
That's
I actually like
that's
Kentucky.
a cheap way to get
All
a
right,
promotion.
more to come here on Afterthoughts. We'll be breaking down Austin's 8-town list, and then we will also dig into some MLB. Stay with us here on Afterthoughts.
And our special guest for this week, St. Bonaventure baseball pitcher, James Capilupo. James, how are you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be on here with you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
The first guest of the show. I'm
We
excited.
have many, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I guess let's just start off with the big story here, the leg kick. Where did it come from? When did you start doing it? Like, kind of what's the backstory behind the leg kick?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've always had kind of a bigger leg kick. Just even growing up, like being a younger guy, I've always kind of had more of a herky-jerky motion. I guess, like, I've always just tried to throw as hard as I can. I've never really been, like, the biggest guy. Now that I'm kind of lifting weights, I'm a little bigger, like, size-wise, but height-wise, still not super big. Wasn't really blessed with a super strong arm, so kind of had to do, like, more of extra things to kind of try to create some more power. And it's been effective so far. I'm also super mobile, so, like, it just kind of comes naturally. It doesn't feel like it's, like, forced. It kind of flows naturally. Even though it might look uncomfortable to a lot of people, it goes pretty naturally. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Is there like a specific pitcher you watched like growing up or something that had like a leg kick, or like did you watch someone? Did you get it from like a coach or something?
I don't even think so. I think I've just always been just working on velocity and like throwing pens, especially as I was getting older on like the radar gun and stuff. And I would just kind of notice the more, the higher the leg kick went up, the harder the gun read. So I was like, just going to produce as much velocity as possible. So it just kind of kept slowly getting higher and higher. And now it's kind of staying at the same spot.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
Much higher.
Now, for a little bit of a context, the Bonnies played Tennessee in a 3-game series from March 9th through 11th, and you started one of those games. And with the game being on national television, the whole world saw the leg kick.
Right.
I mean, you were on the MLB's official social media pages, John Boy, Pitching Ninja, a bunch of other pages that, if we listed all of them, we'd be here for a while.
Anybody who's big in the world of baseball.
Yeah, right. I mean, just like, what are your general reactions to just being prominently featured in the national spotlight like that?
I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously would have liked a little bit of a different result of the game, but it was a real positive. The game finishes up and you're not feeling the best, but then it's like you open your phone and you just come bombarded with all these messages from these cool places, and it's like it's like kind of that moment where you just kind of stop and look around and you're like, this is a journey, and this is a pretty cool moment within the journey, and it's kind of really cool to see where the game can take you. And sometimes you feel like you're very small, you just want to.
Welcome back to Afterthoughts. I'm here with Austin Townley. We got the stars of A-Town list. It's breaking down the top 5 duos in going into the NBA playoffs. So, Austin, I'm going to let you take it away here.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, let's go. Top 5 duos heading into the NBA playoffs. Stars of A-Town. Let's go. Number 5. Jimmy Buckets and Steph Chef. Look at Curry, man. They are 16-3 since getting Jimmy Butler. Stephen Curry averaging 25.5 points per game with Jimmy, and Jimmy averaging 18 points per game compared to 17 points per game on the Golden State Warriors. Now, Jimmy is a playoff elevator. Every time he gets into the playoffs, Ryan, he elevates his team.
Right.
Took that Miami Heat team to the finals twice in his stint there, and we know what Stephen Curry can do in the playoffs.
We've seen him build a dynasty with the Warriors. Of course, Jimmy Butler, his success with the Heat's going in, they made the NBA Finals, so I really do like that number 5. I think the Warriors going out, getting Jimmy Butler was a great move for them. Yeah. Like during the trade deadline. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. All right, coming in at number 4, let's see it. Nikola Jokic, the Joker, and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, one of the greatest playoff elevators of this generation, as we've seen in years past, and Nikola Jokic is hands down the best player in the NBA in the world right now. When Jokic and Murray play together in 55 games, Jokic averages 28 points per game, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, while Jamal Murray coming in with 22 points per game, 6 assists, and around 4 rebounds. Now they're 35-20 together on the season, and they have 39 total playoff wins together. With that championship in 2023, don't forget what they can do come playoff time.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've already won a championship. Honestly, I think I would have ranked them a bit higher. I probably would have put them 3 on this list. I'm curious to see who you have 3, 2, and 1. But yeah, Jokic and Murray, they've been in this scene before. They've won an NBA Finals together. I really like that pick at number 4.
Now, I know you want them higher, but it's hard to put them above these next 3 duos. Coming in at number 3, let's see it. Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. These guys have unseen potential come playoff time. They were both hurt last year in the playoffs, and that was very, very sad to see, especially with this very good Milwaukee Bucks team. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo, which goes under the radar, I feel like, in the media of the sports world, he's 3rd in the MVP race, and he's consistently always in that MVP conversation. That is not talked about enough, and I feel like. And Damian Lillard is having an arguable one of the best years for a point guard, one of the best seasons of his career efficiency-wise. Now, Giannis this season averages 30 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. MVP numbers. Damian Lillard next to him, 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, and just under 7 assists. They are 5th in the East, and they are unseen playoff potential, like I said. 29-22 when they are playing together. And last season, they were bounced in the first round to the Indiana Pacers 4-2.
And the Pacers obviously went on to run to the Eastern Conference Finals. Can't be too upset with that, but I really do like this. This will be correct me if I'm wrong, this will be the first time we see these two in the playoffs both healthy.
Yes.
So I do like this pick at 3. I think I would have swap them at 3 and 4 only because these two guys have won an NBA Finals together, and going to the playoffs, I think experience plays a big factor. But these guys are kind of seasoned vets. Giannis has already won a Finals. I do like him at 3.
Dame time. It's going to be incredibly clutch come playoff time. You need a last-second shot. Giannis can't necessarily give that to you. But adding Damian Lillard on that trade involving Jrue Holiday elevates them offensively, takes them a step back defensively, but you can't complain when you have Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same basketball team.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, Dame can make the clutch shot. I do agree with you there.
Now these last two, I think are undoubtedly, in my opinion, the best two duos in the NBA right now. Let's see. Give me number 2, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. LeBron James, one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player of all time. He is leading the league history in playoff wins with 183 postseason wins. That is the most all-time by far. Luka Doncic in 5 years has 25 playoff wins in 5 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I do like them at 2 because I think I can assume who your first duo is going to be. But I mean, LeBron and Luka, I've been quoted on this podcast before. Maybe the best 1-2 punch in the NBA. Obviously, Luka, we saw what he did to get to the NBA Finals last year, and we know how good LeBron is. I mean, he has won championships with every team he's ever played for. So I like them at 1 and 2. I think they might be one of my picks to win the NBA Finals this year just because of the experience. We saw Luka put the Mavericks on his back last year in the Western Conference playoffs. So, I mean, I like it. I think they could win the NBA Finals.
LeBron seems to have this new energy since Luka has been traded to the Lakers, and you see Luka Doncic getting in some of the best shape of his life since
Luka is playing the best defense of his career right now with the Lakers.
I saw him clamp up Kevin Durant a few weeks ago. I've never seen Luka clamp up anybody before in my life. Yeah. So JJ Redick, you know what you're doing. You got a good scheme. You got Luka bought into the system.
Also, wait, before you give number 1, something to note with LeBron. Obviously, he got hurt. Lakers started to struggle, but Luka still shined in those struggles. But put them both back on the floor together, they're going to get right back on track. They'll be all right.
Yeah, and the 13 games that they have spent together so far, Luka 26 points per game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. And LeBron James, before he got hurt, entered the MVP conversation, sitting in at 5 with 25 points per game, 9 rebounds, 6.5 assists. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest player of all time with Luka Doncic, All-NBA first team in 6 seasons. We'll see what happens. Yeah. And give me number 1, the best duo heading into the NBA playoffs. Let's see it. None other than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. These guys know how to get it done. They are the reigning NBA champions, and they are arguably the best duo in the NBA.
And this guy right here, Jaylen Brown, reigning NBA Finals MVP. So, I mean, these two guys, they know how to get it done in the playoffs. They did it last year. They're going to be the team to beat heading into the playoffs.
100%. They're looking to become a 2-time NBA championship team. They have spent 7 years together. They have 52 playoff wins together. And this team is, I think, the best team in the NBA. You know, they are the best well-oiled machine, leading Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to hopefully another NBA championship. They have played 52 games together this season. Jason Tatum has averaged 26.5 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in those games. And Jaylen Brown has averaged 22.5 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 6 rebounds and 4.5 assists in those 52 games that they have played together. Boston is scary, and I want to see those two leading that team to the next NBA championship.
Yeah, I like it. Austin, if you had to pick one of these players from this list to shine in the NBA playoffs, who would it be? Just one.
One specific player that I want to see shine in this year's NBA playoffs would be Jamal Murray. Okay. He's having a down season compared to years past, but when you get a Jamal Murray that is playing at that all-star, all-NBA type level with the best player in the world, that team can do anything. Yeah. Now, I will say, the NBA play-in is getting very close, and there are duos that I left off of this list because they're not in the playoffs, specifically Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
They're not getting in.
They're the 10th seed right now. They have won 5 games in a row. They have won, I believe, 7 out of their last 9 games, and they got Boston on Wednesday.
Save it for Above the Rim. All right, guys, more to come here on Afterthoughts. We'll head into our MLB opening day starting pitchers. Stay with us right here.
I gotta tell y'all why March is the best month of the year, and it's not even close. Yeah, you got March Madness, you got NFL free agency, but also you got this. St. Baldrick's. Now, I've been doing St. Baldrick's for 13 years. For those of you who don't know what this is, St. Baldrick's is a charity foundation for childhood cancer. Basically, you sign up, you raise money, and then you shave your head at the end of the month. It's all for a good cause, childhood cancer research. Now, I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and every single year the event was held at this place called Kitty Hoynes. Basically, we would have Chow Downey on the mic, and he would go around to all the shavees, basically interview them while your head is getting shaved, and it's just an all-around good time. Now, my friend Bodhi Centaur actually is the one who brought me into this. Bodhi Centaur was somebody in my graduate class from high school, and we started this in first grade together. We created a team together, and it was called the Baldacious Baldies, which then took off, and we did it for 10 years. After we took a little time off from St. Baldrick's, it was about a year or so, Bodie came to me with this idea of hosting a basketball tournament for kids. The basketball tournament is for grades kindergarten through 9th grade, and we pull you guys up, and you guys at the best basketball tournament of the year. This is a local event in Syracuse at Cherry Road Elementary School. Bodie Centaur is the guy who came up with this entire Buckets for Baldrick's idea. He had an idea one day, and he texted me, and we made it happen. Now, we've been doing Buckets for Baldrick's for a few years now, and I'm here to tell you guys all about it. Buckets for Baldrick's is a basketball tournament for children that Bodie and I set up together when we were seniors in high school, so that would make it the 3rd year of this now. Essentially, you sign up and you create your own team with 3 to 4 people, boys and girls, and you go to Cherry Road on that day and you compete to try to win your player pool. When you sign up, all the proceeds go to the St. Baldrick's Foundation, and every kid who is in the event itself raises money like they are a participant for the St. Baldrick's Foundation. The event lasts about all day, and we split up the groups between grade levels. So you're not playing older kids when you're, little, because why would we do that? Now, this is a non-profit organization, so we do get sponsors from all over the place, locally in Syracuse or outside of Syracuse, to donate food, drinks, or anything like that for the event. If you win your tournament, you are...
And we're back here on Afterthoughts. Ryan Lombardi, Gavin Watson, James Derrick. Good to have you boys back. It's been a minute since you guys were last on.
I'm excited to talk some baseball. This is a big week for the MLB. Opening
definitely
day.
Is.
Thursday. I can't wait. My Yankees play.
Yeah, exactly. Opening day right around the corner, so what better way to dive into MLB opening day than to pick our starting pitchers draft. So this is a new segment we're trying out. Do a little fun draft here where it's going to be a snake draft. So you're going to have first pick. Mm-hmm. James will start, then me, then Gavin, and it'll be a snake draft of our MLB opening day starting pitchers. And we are only drafting guys that are starting on opening day. So like the 2 and 3s in the rotation. Because if we're doing this draft, we might as well just pick the entire Dodgers rotation.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, instead we're going to just do opening day. So James, do you want to get us started with the first pick?
Yeah, I think first pick, it's actually obvious. Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
He will probably be one of the greatest pitchers of his generation, of this upcoming generation, right? He's only 22 years old, 5.9 WAR in only 23 starts. He didn't make every start he could have last season, right? But he also followed that up with a 1.96 ERA, which, if he pitched enough, would have been easily first in the entire MLB. Next closest, I think, would have been Chris Sale, around 2.4, something like that, right? 0.95 whip, 170 strikeouts, and only 32 walks. That's almost 1.3 strikeouts an inning. Anything more than a strikeout an inning is ridiculous. He has great stuff. You should see his StatCast page. It is all red, all 90th percentile and up. He's an absolute dog.
I mean, yeah. What a year he had last year, and I mean, he's only going to continue to get better. He had tremendous success at LSU, and I mean, the guy is unstoppable. So that's an obvious first selection.
Exactly, and he's only going to get better at the secondary stuff as well. His fastball ranks in the 99th percentile as well.
Easily over 100. Doesn't matter what inning, he's always throwing over 100.
Exactly. So he's an absolute dog. He's easily the first pick in this draft. If you were going to go with anyone else, you don't know ball.
Yeah.
You don't.
Would you agree there?
Yeah, I would agree there. I think he will end up being the highest paid pitcher once he becomes a free agent, and it's not even going to be close.
Yeah. Great. All right, my first pick. Give me Tariq Skubal.
Again, yeah. It's an easy second pick, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is coming off winning the AL Cy Young. He's been so great. I mean, Skubal is, I think, the right pick here. When you look at his stats last year, posted a 2.39 ERA, won 18 games on the mound. Obviously, the Tigers were a wild card team last year, and he was a big reason why. But 0.92 whip, he's been tremendous.
Yeah, I think Tariq Skubal, he put the Tigers on his back last season, got them to the playoffs, and yeah, I think that's pretty easy.
The surprising thing for me is, especially because he's such a young guy, getting his first couple of starts in the playoffs, he was still dominant. You usually don't see that unless it's a seasoned veteran guy, been there a couple times. No nerves from him. He faced the Astros. He shut them down. Anyone going against Tariq Skubal was in for a day.
Obviously, the Astros, a lot of people are high on just because of the success of the postseason, and Scooball said, no, not going to happen, and he shut them down. Yeah. All right, Gavin, your first pick.
I'm going with Blake Snell. Obviously, Yamamoto opened up for them in Japan, but stateside, Blake Snell is the opening day starter.
We're going to put an asterisk next to that one.
Yeah. Blake Snell, he's coming off somewhat of a down year. 3.12 ERA, over 104 innings. He dealt with some injuries over the course of last season. 145 strikeouts. His ERA plus is 24% better than the rest of the league in the Dodgers. The Dodgers are so good at developing and improving pitchers in their performance. I think Blake Snell is an easy pick. You know, people forget that he was the 2023 Cy Young Award winner.
And even with that, I mean, he had a bad start to the 2024 season, but then when you really look at it, his second half, the second half of the year, Blake Snell needs to be studied.
And he changed his pitch mix last year. I'm interested to see what the Dodgers do with his pitch mix and whether or not they're going to change it up. He threw his fastball the least amount he's thrown it, which last year the trend up was fastballs were getting hit really hard last year by guys. So I'm interested to see if the Dodgers stick with that or if they move away. He's 98th percentile in strikeout percentage and whiff percentage.
Yeah, and something to echo is almost kind of a similar pitcher, Andrew Heaney. You know, he came to the Dodgers. They worked on that slider with him. If the fastball is going to get hit, they will adjust things with Snell. Snell will maybe change up a couple pitch grips, something to get some more movement on those secondary pitches, and we know he's nasty.
Yeah, I agree. The Dodgers just have so much success with their pitching staff. They're doing great things over there. All right, Gavin, you got the back-to-back here, so let's hear
back-to-back, a little bit more of a wild card here for me. Garrett Crochet, new team for him going from one sock to the other sock. White Sox to the Red Sox. 3.58 ERA, 209 strikeouts, over 146 innings. I mean, this guy can throw the ball harder than anybody in the game of baseball. He introduced a new cutter last offseason. It did get hit hard, but second year, really getting comfortable with that pitch. I'm interested to see how much he uses it and how well it performs against major league pitchers or major league batters.
Yeah, and I know he's a big, lanky guy. Sometimes when the mechanics get off, sometimes the strike zone isn't as much there. I don't know about 4, to be completely honest. I kind of disagree.
I do agree. I think there's
some other guys.
There's definitely some other guys out there, but
you look at his comparison on MLB Baseball Savant. 2024 Tyler Glasnow, and he had a great year. He dealt with some injuries down the stretch, but he had an overall good year. So I'm interested to see what a power pitcher like him can do in a winning situation out there with the Red Sox.
That's true. Yeah. Play a little better when you're on a winning team. I'll say that for sure.
Definitely. I think the Red Sox got some good things going on.
Yeah, I think they're a team that some people are sleeping on. I think they're going to have a good year this year.
All right, I think it's the 5th pick. Yeah, with the 5th pick, I'm going to go with Michael King. King is in his second year with the Padres, and I mean, my goodness, did he have success last year? Got off to a little bit of a cold start in 2024, but then responded with a great second half, pitched awesome in the postseason for them, and when it mattered most, he got the job done.
In the playoffs especially, I mean, anyone should remember that 12 strikeout game that he had, and it's kind of sad to see, you know, as a Yankees fan, now that Juan Soto is wearing a Mets uniform, that Michael King will probably continue to be amazing, all right? And he's got nasty stuff. You can see it so well on camera. Movement all over the place.
Yeah, he really does. And I mean, he posted a 2.95 ERA last season in like a down year. It really pitched well. And even with the Yankees, he's appeared in 49 games in 2023, had 9 starts, and he still posted a 2.75 ERA. And then out of the bullpen in 2022 had a 2.29 ERA. So the tear that Michael King has been on has really been unreal.
I mean, he's a guy, when he got traded for Soto, you kind of worried that this might happen. He was electric when he started for the Yankees in 2023. He was a guy who, as soon as that trade and the names came out, it's one of those ones where you're like, ooh, I wish they didn't send him. I wish they would have thrown in a couple other higher name prospects. But yeah, Michael King is one of the best starters in the game.
I do remember that Juan Soto trade. It was like, you cringe a little bit of the fact that it was Michael King, but then it's like, well, we got Juan Soto.
You know, but now that Soto's gone, it kind of might come back. Yeah. The overall grade of the trade to haunt the Yanks.
Yeah, depending on how the career trajectory of like Michael King goes, it could go down as one of like the worst trades ever. I mean, because the Yankees didn't win the World Series.
And they didn't retain Soto, so those are two things that probably would have helped you out in that grade if you won it or you got Soto back. So.
Yeah. The Padres knew what they were doing. They could have gotten some higher named prospects in the Yankee system, but they don't want that. They wanted Michael King. They know how much of a dog he is. He's got great stuff. It's going to be sad to watch him absolutely dominate this season because we all know he can, right?
Yeah. All right, James, give us your 6th overall pick and the round 2 third pick.
Yeah, number 6 here could be a risk. He's coming off a year where he missed plenty of games due to injury. Zach Gallen, right? He's 29. It's a contract year for him. That is why I want to put the emphasis on that. Contract year. People perform their best when they're going into a year where they could be signing a big-time extension. You know what I mean? So 3.65 ERA last season. I don't know, right? He's 34th in the league if he qualified. He didn't even pitch enough innings, though.
Right.
So you have to imagine losing your hamstring, something like that. Like losing your lower half would have a big effect on your game.
Yeah.
But also you got to think about Diamondbacks signed Corbin Burns, veteran pitcher. He might be able to. I know Zach Gallen isn't necessarily a rookie here, but signing a veteran like him, he could help fix up Gallen and maybe make him back to that pitcher that he was a few years back. I mean, he was one of the most dominant pitchers at his peak.
Yeah, and the fastball has been starting to get hit a little bit harder, but one thing that you have to note is his breaking ball. That knuckle curve is ranking in the 98th percentile in run value. He just doesn't give up runs on that pitch. So if he can tweak up, some of the other secondary stuff, I know he's working on something like a cutter, probably that's something Corbin Burns could bring in, then we could see a return to dominance for Zach Gallen.
And Brett Strom, I believe, out there as their pitching coach, or I can't think of his last name, but their pitching coach, great pitching coach with Houston for a long time. Interested to see how he can help Gallen out.
Yeah, I mean, Corbin Burns obviously just so good on the mound and definitely could be a very positive impact on Zach Gallen. All right, James, you got the back-to-back here. Give us your 3rd and final pick.
I love this guy. All right, you guys gave me a little bit of slack. I would love to know why after I make my case. Logan Gilbert, he throws strikes, all right? You might not see it in the WAR category. Only 2.8. That's not, fantastic among starting pitchers. But he ate up innings, 208 and 2/3 innings, 220 Ks. He only walked 37 batters. That's ridiculous. That's 0.18 walks per inning. He won't walk anybody till he throws over 5 innings. I think that's a little ridiculous.
I just think that there were better guys on the board. I think my last pick, Ryan's last pick, are going to be better off.
I think I could name a few after. Once we do our picks, we'll circle back to you and maybe feed you more of that information.
Yeah, but another thing I want to touch on, right?
He's really defending this pick here.
Zach Gallen, he's wonderful. Okay, or sorry, not Zach Gallen. Logan Gilbert. Sorry, 99th in Statcast in breaking ball run value. That's better than Zach Gallen, who I just mentioned. And he's in the 100th percentile in extension. This guy is huge. He doesn't let go of the ball until he's pretty much placing it wherever he wants at home plate. And that fastball rides up 96, 97, 98 even miles per hour. He can chuck that thing, man. I think he's poised to have a better year. He's only 27. He's in his prime right now. I think he might have a better year than 2 of the guys that you guys took.
I heavily doubt that.
We can circle back to that.
I can't wait to circle back. That's all I can say.
We can circle back. I mean, there's a lot of names I could list that I think
there's
might
a lot
have
of
a better
guys out
year
there who I think are going to have a better year than Logan Gilbert.
In the nicest way possible.
I'll
James.
be in the trenches defending Logan Gilbert, okay? I promise you.
If there are no more Logan Gilbert supporters, James is dead.
All right, and then with my last pick, I can't believe he fell this late. I think this is an absolute steal. With my last pick, I'm taking Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler, coming off one of his best years, if not his actual best year, posted a 2.57 ERA. Absolutely electric stuff. He can really get up there with the velocity and the breaking ball, just so good. I mean, he's such a force for the Phillies, especially come the postseason, but he's getting the nod on opening day. When you look at those stats, just overall, 224 strikeouts. I think he probably could have won the NL Cy Young last year
if he was in a different league than
if
Chris
Zach
Sale.
Wheeler, Chris Sale didn't exist. So great stuff from Zach Wheeler, and I think he was an absolute steal.
Yeah, James, you asked who were the better guys on the list. I would say Zach Wheeler had a better year last year than Logan Gilbert and will probably have a better year this year as well.
See, you have me at last year, right? 2024. We are in 2025, guys.
But you're
all
just
right?
guessing.
Okay, but also
I'm not guessing, all right? I know Logan Gilbert,
Zach
all right?
Wheeler is a vet. He knows what he has to do to stay on top of hitters and make sure that they don't know what's coming.
gosh.
Logan Gilbert doesn't necessarily have that long-term sustained success like Zach Wheeler has had.
Yeah.
But you know what? Logan Gilbert is pitching with a better defense, all right? And Zach Wheeler is starting to get to the point where he's going to start losing some stuff.
Yes.
He's going to lose a tick on the fastball.
That's what they said last year, and he posted a 2.57 ERA.
All right, so he's due.
They've been saying it every year for the last 4 years, and he just gets better.
You know baseball. You should believe in due, okay? People are eventually going to catch up. He's going to lose a tick, all right?
And Gilbert's just going to keep pitching the way he's going, just like this, on a slope going downhill.
All right.
Downhill.
I can't wait to look back on this. I'll just say, I can't wait.
Is it up to me?
Yeah, you can take
rounding
your
it
last
out here.
guy. I mean, I'm just baffled by this Logan Gilbert guy.
You know, a guy I think is going to have a better year than Logan Gilbert, Sandy Alcantara with the Miami Marlins. Yeah. He missed all of 2024 with an elbow injury, needed Tommy John. And you look back at his last year healthy. 2022, he posted a 2.28 ERA, 207 strikeouts, averaging less than 1 hit an inning, and he won the Cy Young.
Yeah.
I mean, his last healthy season, he won the Cy Young. He took a step back in 2023, but that was, I think, due to the injury. 4+ ERA, only 150 strikeouts, and that was over the course of 28 games. I think Sandy Alcantara is going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's likely going to get moved at the deadline. The Marlins already came out and said he will be on a pitch limit up until the deadline and an inning limit. So I'm interested to see how much he can do in his limited innings. However, when your last healthy year is a Cy Young year, how can you not pick him to have a great year?
Yeah, he's the one that I'm a little scared about. He could easily be finishing number 1 or number 2. I know we got Skeens on this list, but Alcantara, he has been dominant. We've seen it before. We don't need him to prove it, right? It's just coming off a year where he dealt with injuries. You never know how that will linger, right? I think he posted something above a 5 ERA. I'm kind of interested to watch him, but again, we know he's got the stuff.
Yeah, and in 2023, he ditched that fastball in favor of a sinker, which has become kind of the thing in baseball is ditch that fastball, get a fast pitch that can have some movement on it. So I'm interested to see how this new pitch works for him in the 2025 season.
You know who else could be looking to add a sinker to their arsenal? Because they're on a team with such a great young pitching staff. Is Logan Gilbert. I'm just saying, you know,
my God.
two can play at that game if you want to play that game.
I mean, he's already out in Seattle. Send him to Driveline and get him a sinker.
Can we cut to no? I want you to circle your favorite team.
Pick.
What team you think drafted the best?
Reminder: I have Paul Skeens.
Remember, I have Snell
and
and
I have my Wow!
Oh, come on.
We love it. We love to see it.
How much is he paying? I'll double it.
No, I don't think anyone can read that. All right, so we have our starting pitchers. If you guys had to pick one guy from this list who have a Cy Young award-winning year, who would it be?
I mean, I feel like the cop-out answer is Paul Skeens.
Right.
So we should try not to.
Let's be different.
I'll be different.
Let's be different like James with Logan Gilbert.
It's not going to be Logan Gilbert, I can tell you that much. I think Snell bounces back with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers probably got him in their lab, fixed some things that they saw. They love to do that. I think Blake Snell will have a great year, and I think he's the best guy on this list.
Yeah.
I'll showcase my full
Do not
Yankee
say
bias.
Logan Gilbert.
And Michael King. He's gross. Just watch him. Watch one start, and you'll be convinced. The movement that you see from the center field camera, you don't see it from other pitchers in the MLB. You really notice it. He's got eye-popping stuff. I love Michael King.
Yeah. All right. You took my Michael King pick. I think I want to be different. I mean, I think it's the cop-out is like Screwball might go back-to-back in the AL.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I also think Garrett Crochet could have a really solid year in the AL, so I do like that pick too. I'm gonna go Crochet. I think it's hard to go back-to-back. Give me Crochet to win the Cy Young this year. But if I really had to pick somebody, you might think I'm crazy.
Oh no.
Max Fried.
Not at all.
Not an opening day starter. I know we're
not opening
Yankee
day.
fans.
Yeah.
He's not an opening day starter. I mean, this is his first year with the Yankees. I didn't expect it. I said Carlos Rodon was going to be the starter, and he is. I think Max Fried has electric stuff. He's just so good on the mound, and I think Matt Blake, one of the best pitching coaches in the league.
You took it right out of my mouth. The Yankees pitching lab is one of the best in the league. Them and the Dodgers are probably up there as the top 2 teams at developing pitchers. So I do think Max Fried will have a great year. I do think Matt Blake will work with him, and he'll have a great year as well.
Right.
Yeah, kind of a shame he couldn't be a part of this draft, right? You know, Rodon is the opening day starter, but
which
Max
I think could have a
Fried,
solid year. I mean, I think he won like 18 games on the mound last year, so I think Rodon could have a solid year as well.
Yeah, for sure. But Max Fried, I think any of us could tell, the more talented guy on that pitching staff. I think he's the one. It's a shame Garrett Cole went down. I think he would have also been on this list easily. But I like Max Fried too. I love him a lot.
I think he's the ace of the staff this year for the Yankees with Garrett Cole being out the entire year now. He's going to have to step in a big way for the Yanks.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me for this draft. We're going to have this draft on our Instagram. Don't forget to vote. Vote Lambo. I think we all know I have the best team.
Come on, I'm thinking outside the box. It's me. It's me.
Do you really want Logan Gilbert to win? Come on, guys.
No. But no, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys next week, same time, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So long and good night from Afterthoughts.
Hey, Roman numeral 23, my king is LeBron. If the ball is his, he take the score and make it multiply. 40,000 points and he's still going greatest of all.